Over hundreds of millions of years, the surface of our planet has been carved, expanded, and sculpted into the stunning place that it is today. With awe-inspiring natural wonders, some of these places are paradise, while others give us a trip through the history of our world.
Number 5.
With a name that means descending dragon, Halong Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that lies off the coast of Vietnam. Covering an area of 600 square miles or 1,500 square kilometres, it's filled with thousands of limestone formations, including 2,000 small islands. The region has developed to be like this over the past 500 million years, with a tropical climate for the most recent 20 million years. The result is a biodiverse and evergreen biosystem that's home to 60 animal species and 14 flower species that originated there. The scenery is often voted as some of the most breathtaking in the entire world. Humans have lived in this area for tens of thousands of years, and over the past few hundred years, it's been a popular tourist site for those looking for a tropical getaway and the chance to explore the unique limestone caves that are scattered across the islands. Despite there being so many formations, only around 40 of the islands are inhabited, with a total population in the bay of no more than 2,000 people. But despite this low permanent population, there's a surprising number of historical monuments such as religious statues in caves that are hundreds if not thousands of years old.
Number 4.
Throughout the United States, there are 154 designated national forests within the National Forest System, but of all of them, only one is a tropical rainforest. El Yunque in Puerto Rico, found on the slopes of the Sierra de la Cuello Mountains. It covers an area of almost 44 square miles or 113 square kilometers and is split into 4 distinct regions. The Sierra Palm Tree Forest, which is around 1,900 feet or 600 meters above sea level, is made up of mainly Sierra palm trees. At a height of 2,500 feet or up to 900 meters, the forest is mainly Paolo Colorado trees. Between 600 and 2,800 feet or 2 to 900 meters, part of the forest is made up of tabuncu trees, and arguably the most important part is the dwarf or cloud forest at a height of around 3,000 feet or 900 meters, which is where the trees only found in Puerto Rico grow. The forest is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Puerto Rico, partly because of the trees themselves, also partly because of the archaeological ruins from which ancient civilizations are dotted throughout, and partly because of the various species of animals that are native to the region.
Number 3.
Of all of the peaks on the planet, the highest by a considerable distance is Mount Everest. A part of the Himalayan mountain range, it reaches a height of 29,032 feet or 8,849 meters above sea level, and the border between Nepal and China runs through the tip of the summit. The mountain and the range around it formed as a result of the Indian and Asian tectonic plates colliding with one another, but that doesn't mean Everest is simply made up of one type of rock that was thrust upwards. In fact, geologists have determined that there's actually 3 distinct sections that make up the mountain. The first part is known as the Jomolungma Formation, which accounts for the upper 800 feet or 250 meters, and is made from limestone and dolomite that contains evidence of microorganisms, particularly those that once lived in oceans. The second section, known as the North Col Formation, makes up the majority and the distinctive part of Everest, between a height of 23 to 28,000 feet, and surprisingly, mainly consists of yellowish brown marble that dates back to around 500 million years ago. Finally, the lower section, called the Rongbuk Formation, below 23,000 feet or 7,000 meters, contains igneous rock that's a mixture of quartz, feldspar, and several other compounds. It was formed around 20 to 24 million years ago, when parts of the Indian tectonic plate melted as it moved beneath the Asian plate and then was forced upward.
Number 2.
Hidden deep within the Serranía de la Macarena province of Meta, Colombia, lies what's arguably the most spectacular river on Earth, Kokanocristalis. Amazingly, it was only first discovered in 1969 by a group of cattle farmers, and has since been found to be a tributary of the much larger Guayabera River. Because of the unique geography of the land on which it's formed, it takes on a unique characteristic, a wonderful display of colours. It just so happens to be surrounded by three wildly different ecosystems: the Andes mountain range, the eastern Llanos, and the Amazon rainforest. The quartzite rocks that the river was carved from have meant that the water is unusually fast flowing and has created small circular pits along the riverbed. The combination of the fresh meltwater from the mountains, the flora and fauna from the rainforest, and the river structure have meant that a wide variety of aquatic plants are able to thrive in Kokanocristalis, and these give the river its colourful appearance. The plants cling tightly to the rocks where the water flows the fastest and the highest levels of oxygen, so they're exposed to this, and this is how they're able to grow so well. What's surprising though is that despite the surrounding land being ideal to support a number of different animal species, the river isn't, and there's no known fish or amphibians in it.
Number 1.
When you think of the incredible natural landscapes of North America, there's really only one place that surely comes to mind: the Grand Canyon. While it may not be the deepest canyon on Earth, its sheer size makes it by far the most spectacular and one of the greatest sights on the planet Earth. Formed by the Colorado River as it and its tributaries carve through the landscape of Arizona, the structure is 277 miles or 446 kilometers long. It's up to 18 miles or 29 kilometers wide at points and reaches a maximum depth of 6,000 feet or around 1,800 meters. It's believed that river first established its course through the region around 5 or 6 million years ago, and has since then eroded so deeply into the bedrock that it has exposed nearly 2 billion years worth of geological history. By studying the different strata of rock, it's possible to learn a lot about how conditions have changed over time, such as when oceans were present to deposit material, or when volcanic activity blanketed the region with ash and blocked the river, even how world temperatures have changed. As well as being of great scientific interest, the canyon has long been inhabited, with evidence suggesting that some of the earliest human cultures living in North America made it their home around 3,000 years ago. Because of its rich history and the fact that President Roosevelt thought so greatly of the place, the Grand Canyon was the driving force behind the creation of the National Parks Association and was designated a national monument in January of 1908. It finally became the 17th national park in 1919 and has legally been protected ever since, meaning that mining and development are highly restricted. This has been a very contentious issue with industrial entities because of the presence of large quantities of valuable materials within the rocks.
Check out one of our other amazing videos.